Hey there, everybody. Well, I'm out here because I got something new. I got a Ambient Weather WS-3000 ×5 Thermo-Hygrometer, dew point, heat index, wireless. It's a dang weather station with thermometer sensors. It has 5 sensors on it. Anyway, went and picked this thing up because I got all these other thermometers that I have sitting around, and I have 4 greenhouses plus the outside air that I want to monitor to make sure that my plants don't get too cold. I can see how my heat sinks are doing. So open this little thing up, and it has a little weather station in it. And one of the things I really liked was it has 5 different sensors in it. So here's the base unit, and it's a plug-in base unit. Comes with a cord, but the cool thing is it actually has graphs, and you can download this onto your computer, see how it does. But I got tired of having to go to different temperature stations around the house because I had to separate them closer to the greenhouses so I could see what the temperature in the greenhouse was. And it sort of sucked because, you know, this one won't have too much range. This one will feed over onto the other one of the same brand, even though I changed the channels. So I figured I'd buy one with 5 different sensors on it. And the 5 different sensors will help me keep a good reading on my greenhouses and see how they do. That way I can maybe bring in some external heat if I need to. They don't come with batteries, so I have to put the batteries in them, and I'll have to do a little bit of reading up to see how exactly to set this thing up, but we'll get to it in just a second. Alright, well, before putting batteries in, it says to set it up, and they have these little switches down here. Try to zoom in the best I can. And they have to match up per channel in the instructions. But I also took a Sharpie and marked 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 across the top, and put in the right switch for each one. As you can see, all the little switches are either up and down position. The 4th one there, if I can zoom in properly on it, the 4th one there is for your Fahrenheit or Celsius, and I'm keeping it all on Fahrenheit, so that should be good for me. Got done putting the batteries in, and something sort of cool that I didn't realize it was going to do is right about there you can see that it actually has the channel number on them. Took a minute for them to adjust the temperature. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we got all 5 of those all set up. Now I'm going to set up the display unit. Now the display unit does have a slot for a USB connection and a memory card, so I had a 16 gig hanging out, so I'm going to go ahead and throw a 16 gigabyte in there. That should be more than enough for it, and plug it in. One thing though, it does say that in order to set up, it says to go ahead and make sure that your sensors are about 5 to 10 feet away from the display, because if they're too close, they may not be able to receive be received by the display console. So I'm going to go ahead and put the units where I'm going to be having them in the greenhouses, and I'll show you where I'm going to put them in each greenhouse. Sensor number 1 is going right here on the end of the deck. That way it's not too close to the house. Also, it's not getting any direct sunlight any time of the year, and that'll give me a more accurate ambient air temperature. For sensor number 2, I'm putting it right here underneath my basil. I want to be able to tell, you know, what the temperature is right around this level. This is where the coolest area is going to be, because the lower you go, it's going to get colder. And then up above, it's going to be warmer. But I also didn't want it in direct sunlight. So there's sensor number 2 set up in the greenhouse. For sensor number 3, I got it right in the middle of my greenhouse garden shed on a pole. Got a nail already put in there. That was an easy setup. Now I have my sensor in here, so I can keep track of the heat inside here and make sure that I'm not overcooking my plants, and making sure they don't get frozen out either. Sensor number 4 is going inside this one. This is the Harbor Freight style greenhouse, the larger Harbor Freight style greenhouse, and it's going smack dab in the middle of it. So that way I can just get a regular temperature read out of here, see what we're doing right in the middle. And finally, inside my little garden greenhouse here, placing it fairly low. And this one is going to fill up. This one and the Harbor Freight style are going to fill up real soon with a whole bunch of starts. All right, let's power this thing up and see what happens. I went ahead and put the micro SD card into it. See how long it takes for this thing to give me some readings. Channel 3 just went. It's inside the greenhouse garden shed. Oh, there goes channel 2. That's inside my wood greenhouse. There goes channel 1 and channel 4. So channel 1's the outside air temperature. Channel 4 is inside the Harbor Freight style, and channel 5 just popped up inside my garden greenhouse. Outstanding. So we'll let this run for a little bit. Looks like I got to set the time on it. Alright, I don't know how well you can see it, but I actually have a temperature graph here. So channel 1's the one at the bottom. That's the outside ambient temperature. And then inside the different greenhouses, you can see what the temperatures are there. And I can download that graph, taking the card out and going out and putting it into my computer and seeing how it looks. So here's a really good view of the temperatures. And here's the graph that it shows on the little screen here. So the computer system's pretty easy. I can set an alarm on it by clicking on the alarm button. And I can set it for high humidity, high temperature, low temperature. Shows the channels here. You can calibrate your temperatures on this thing. And then you can also go to your SD card, and this is where your CVS files are, CSV files are, and you can export, and then you can turn this into a graph by setting the date and time you want to start and the date and time you want to end. So I need to change this date over. And then we hit export, and we show a graph that shows temperature, dew point, heat index, and we can remove some or we can add some. Like I said, it's a really basic file. You could also export these off to Excel and make some really cool graphs out of it if you want to do multiple graphs. They do make a system that goes and transmits to phones, and you can get a phone app for it, but then I'd just be worrying all day saying, oh my goodness, what's my greenhouse is doing, and I'd be looking at it all day and wouldn't want to get any gardening done, or might be at work and couldn't get here to do anything. But for the most part, it's a pretty easy system. Works pretty good. Alright, well, I'm very happy that I bought this system here. And I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. If you did, hey, give me a big thumbs up. Push the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.